Dabur is a brand present in every Indian household for 138 years. But did you know that when S.K. Burman started this brand, people used to call him a fake Vaidya because his medicines were so effective that people couldn't believe it. Dabur's story is not just about success but also has many signals. How the company was forced to change its head. Why leave the office? In one night, 8 family members resigned, and how Dabur's masterstroke defeated Patanjali at its own game. We'll learn everything in detail in today's video. So friends, Dabur's story begins. In 1856, in a poor farmer's house in a small Bengal village, Burman was born. At that time, perhaps no one thought that this child would one day lay the foundation of India's largest Ayurvedic brand. In those days, the village environment was completely traditional. All small and big illnesses were treated with herbs. There were English medicines too, but they were so expensive that only rich people could buy them. Now the common man had only 3 options left: seeking treatment, resorting to superstitious practices, and if nothing works, leaving the sick person to God's will. At this time, diseases like cholera, malaria, and plague were wreaking havoc, but people had no precise treatment. In such a situation, S.K. Burman thought, why not study the depths of Ayurveda to create effective medicine, so that those who cannot afford expensive allopathic medicines can also receive proper treatment. With this thought, he began studying Ayurveda and herbal medicines. But poverty was his biggest enemy. There was no money to buy books. So sometimes he did small jobs, sometimes he borrowed. But he did not give up. After completing his studies, he began researching Ayurvedic medicine in various regions of Bengal. He would travel from village to village, venture into the forests, collect herbs, and try to understand their medicinal properties. Not only that, he transformed a small room in his house into a laboratory. There was no advanced equipment, no good facilities, but the determination was strong. S.K. Burman himself prepared the medicines with his own hands and then traveled from village to village on a bicycle to deliver them to people. First, he made medicines for diseases related to malaria and digestion, which were nothing short of a boon for people because they were effective and affordable. But some people were so poor that they couldn't even afford these cheap medicines. In such cases, S.K. Burman would treat them for free without any discrimination. Now, most of the Ayurvedic medicines of that time took a long time to show their effect. But S.K. Burman's medicines were so effective that people started calling him a fake Vaidya, because they thought that medicines showing effects so quickly were either made from magic spells or contained some harmful substances. But gradually people's trust increased, leading to a demand for these medicines, which were initially available only in Kolkata, from all over the country. To fulfill this demand, S.K. Burman started a company named Dabur in 1884, which was derived from the word doctor and the word Burman. In fact, Dabur's medicines were not just home remedies or grandma's treatments, but they were effective remedies made with scientific research and quality control. Therefore, Dabur became a state brand in most parts of the country, and the demand for their medicines also began to increase rapidly. Now, the company faced a new challenge of how to fulfill the rapidly growing demand. In fact, Dabur was still just a small-scale setup, while it still needed mass production to make a big impact. And then the solution to this challenge was found in 1896 when Dabur opened its first manufacturing plant. This was a milestone in Ayurveda's history, because for the first time, Ayurvedic medicine was produced on a large scale properly. This not only accelerated Dabur Company's business expansion, but also marked the beginning of making Ayurveda a structured industry in India. Dr. S.K. Burman dedicated his heart and soul to elevating Ayurveda to new heights. But unfortunately, he passed away in 1907, after which the leadership of the company was taken over by his son C.L. Burman. Now, the challenge for C.L. Burman was not only to carry forward his father's vision, but also to innovate according to the new era. And with this objective, C.L. Burman started an R&D center in Kolkata and launched many new medicines in the market. But friends, the true turning point for Dabur came when in 1949, Dabur launched its Chyawanprash. Now, Chyawanprash was not a new tonic, but its story is thousands of years old. It is said that there was a sage named Maharishi Chavan who had become quite elderly and was very worried about his health. After which he prepared a recipe by mixing some special herbs, which made his body young and strong again. And friends, this recipe later came to be known as Chyawanprash. Although Ayurveda had deep roots in India, by 1800, it was gradually becoming extinct. In such a situation, to save it, Dabur introduced the same old formula with modern packaging and branding. Since then, the company also launched a major marketing campaign to sell Chyawanprash as much as possible. Now friends, some people used to adopt home remedies to avoid colds, but Dabur explained to them that if Chyawanprash is taken daily, diseases won't even come close. The impact of this campaign was so rapid. From school-going children to young office-goers and the elderly at home, everyone started consuming Chyawanprash. Along with this, Dabur Lal Manjan was also launched in 1949, which was a super hit at that time. And later on, you must have seen this iconic ad of this toothpaste. Even I feel like you use Dabur Lal Manjan. But friends, the success of Dabur Chyawanprash did not last very long because in 1950 many new brands started entering the Indian market and allopathic medicines also began to gain popularity. In front of those medicines, people started considering Ayurveda as old and outdated. And because of this, many small Ayurvedic companies gradually began to disappear from the market. In such a situation, Dabur realized that if they didn't do something new, Ayurveda could come to an end. For this reason, taking a smart move, they started model research and testing to scientifically prove the quality of their product. Along with this, the company decided not to limit itself to just medicines but also to enter the FMCG market so that it could launch products like Ayurvedic toothpaste, hair oil, and skincare. But before Dabur could work on this vision, something happened that forced the company to close its head office and leave Kolkata. Actually, by the late 1960s, poverty, unemployment, and economic inequality had greatly increased in West Bengal. The poor laborers began to feel injustices were being done to them, and this anger gradually started taking the form of a communist movement. And then when politics got involved, strikes began. Even kidnappings and attacks on businessmen became common, making annual business difficult. Business owners began to worry about their and their family's safety and felt that it was not possible to do business here. Therefore, large companies like Birla Group and State Bank of India moved their head offices out of West Bengal. Along with this, Tata Group also started reducing its operations and focusing on Western India. And friends, like other companies, this time was also filled with difficulties for Dabur. But the limit was reached when one day during a factory visit, CEO Burman's grandson, G.C. Burman, was surrounded by some company employees for a long time. In this incident, they did not suffer any loss, but the Dabur family realized that doing business in Kolkata was no longer safe, so they shifted their head office to Ghaziabad, adjacent to Delhi. But friends, this shifting was not so easy. Shifting from Kolkata to Ghaziabad meant setting up the entire business from scratch. The biggest issue was with the workforce because most experienced workers were in Kolkata, and bringing them to Ghaziabad was difficult, while training new people was time-consuming and costly. Additionally, the supply channels and distribution channels had all collapsed, which caused the business to slow down significantly. There was a time when Dabur felt that perhaps this shifting was a wrong decision, but slowly and gradually, things started getting back on track. In Ghaziabad, better infrastructure and proximity to Delhi eased access to new markets, and gradually Dabur regained momentum. Well, after this, in 1978, the company launched Hajmola, which proved to be a major game changer for it. Actually, people used to take Hajmola in powder form, which was a bit inconvenient. That's why Dabur introduced it in small tablets. The result was that Hajmola became a part of Indian households, and everyone from children to adults started consuming it like a tangy candy. During this time, Dabur Amla Hair Oil was also launched, which soon became the best-selling hair oil in India. This success proved that Dabur could make a name not only in health but also in beauty and personal care. With this, the company was also launching a product in the market that took Dabur to new heights, and it was called Dabur Honey actually. In those days, honey was mostly sold loose. People used to buy honey without any packaging from local shops and markets, and it was extremely difficult to distinguish between real and fake because honey was something that always had the fear of adulteration, like whether jaggery or sugar was directly mixed into it. But Dabur, seeing this issue, launched India's first scientific test package honey, guaranteeing its purity. And because people now had an option for honey that was not only pure but also hygienically packed, Dabur honey soon became a part of every household. After this, in 1994, Dabur took a step that transformed it from just a family business into a large corporate brand. Because this year the company entered the stock market and became a public limited company. This meant that it was no longer just a family business, but people from all over the country got the opportunity to become a part of this company. And then friends, around the same time period, Dabur launched a product that created a stir in the Indian beverage market. Actually, at that time, the concept of packet juice was not present in India. People either made juice at home or drank fresh juice from street vendors. But there was one big problem with this. Making juice at home was a hassle, and outside juice always risked dirty water, adulteration, flies, and mosquitoes. And then Dabur identified this gap and in 1996 launched Real Juice, providing people with a clean, hygienic, and simple option. Real Juice was not only made from real fruits, but it was also preservative-free, meaning no harmful chemicals were added to it. That's why it became a super hit upon entering the market, further strengthening Dabur's portfolio. At that time, the company was growing steadily, and its marketing and advertisement were much better than other Ayurvedic brands. Despite this, the Burman family was unhappy with the company's growth because they felt their excellent products weren't gaining deserved popularity. Also, their expansion was quite slow. To solve this problem, they hired the consulting firm McKinsey in 1998. And then McKinsey asked the management the first question. Is it just because your last name is Burman that you are the most qualified to run this business? Hearing this question, the Burman family was forced to think. Actually, the fourth generation of the Dabur family business was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. That means they got everything without any effort. In such a situation, they realized that they did not have the capabilities required to run a successful organization. And then, upon realizing this, they made a big decision that now Dabur will be run by professional and experienced managers. Also, no Burman family member will take a salary from the company. However, family members could collect their dividends and create their ventures outside of Dabur. At that time, there were 8 family members from the 4th and 5th generation in executive positions at Dabur, and all of them resigned in a single night. Since then, Sunil Duggal was appointed as the company's CEO, with experience working with major international brands like PepsiCo. In this way, when the company's responsibility came into the hands of professionals, many strategies of Dabur were significantly changed, which directly impacted sales and growth. The result of this change was that within just 2 years, by the year 2000, Dabur's annual turnover surpassed the 1,000 crore rupees mark for the first time. This was a historic milestone for Dabur because the company was no longer a family business but was emerging as a corporate giant, and its products began to be exported to the US, UK, the Middle East, and Europe. But friends, this group was very soon taken away from the company because in 2006 Dabur had to confront its biggest competitor, Patanjali. As soon as Patanjali entered the FMCG market, Dabur faced challenges because Baba Ramdev's popularity, indigenous branding, and affordable products quickly attracted customers. In addition, Patanjali directly challenged Dabur's core products like Chyawanprash, honey, toothpaste, and hair care, and started selling its products at prices 30 to 40% cheaper. With these strategies, By 2016, Patanjali's revenue reached 9,500 crore rupees, becoming India's second largest FMCG brand after ITC, continuously taking market share from Dabur. But even in this difficult phase, Dabur did not give up and instead devised dangerous strategies and defeated Patanjali at its own game. First, Dabur attacked Patanjali's biggest weakness, which was quality control. In fact, Patanjali's rapidly increasing demand had weakened its product quality. As a result, many products failed the food safety and standards authority of India's quality test. Along with this, media reports accused Patanjali's products of adulteration and incorrect testing, and then Dabur also took full advantage of this opportunity. And while Patanjali was surrounded by questions regarding quality, Dabur made trust, purity, and scientific testing its greatest strength. Patanjali was talking about being local, while Dabur adopted the combination of trust plus science. As Dabur claimed its honey to be 100% pure and medical grade, it surpassed Patanjali's honey. Since then, the company also launched Dabur Chyawanprash sugar-free version, which was the best option for diabetes patients. Additionally, Dabur Red was promoted with 100% proven effectiveness, which not only began giving tough competition to Patanjali and Kanti but also to Colgate. Dabur used big celebrities to advertise their products as high quality and highlighted their research and testing. The result was that Dabur gradually strengthened its hold in the market and slowed down Patanjali's growth. If we talk about today, Patanjali's market cap is around 64,716 crore rupees, while Dabur's is about 92,284 crore rupees, and it remains the largest Ayurvedic FMCG brand. Today, Dabur's business is spread not only in India but in more than 120 countries around the world. By the way, which Dabur product is used in your home? Do let us know by